Hello buddy, welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're going to be starting a new campaign with Durthu for Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires. So as always, if you enjoy the content, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out a ton on the channel. If you'd like to sponsor a campaign yourself, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind. We can probably set that up. It's just $3 an episode, minimum 10 episodes. But anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get in here. So I haven't done the Elves in a while. Elves were one of my favorite factions, especially with Durthu. I think my most recent Elf campaign was still Warhammer 2, and it was Drycha or Sisters. But I haven't done Durthu in a while. And he's really one of my favorite ones because I think some of the strongest aspects of the Elf army are the trees. It's the monsters that they have. So like, obviously the Elves themselves are really good, but the trees are definitely really good as well. And Durthu is one of the more powerful legendary lords out there. He has lots of great bonuses. He's a good fighter, and he's a good caster. So, anyways, Durthu, really good. And they've given him some new stuff here. So, faction effects, whenever you cast, and I think this is for everybody, just any casting that you do, you get extra damage on your missiles and on your, well, yeah, just missiles. So, that's pretty cool. And that's nice because that gives him, like, some extra value for the Elves, because obviously a lot of his bonus are going to be for the Forest Spirit units. So that gives you a little bonus for the Elves. You get Elemental Mastery for Ancient Treemen and Spell Singers. So basically, if you have multiple of those in an army, then all your spells do extra damage. And this is nice for the Treemen because a real problem they've had balancing the game in general is these very large, basically giant type of units are historically pretty weak because they're super vulnerable to missile fire, they're slow, and they just don't do more damage than like traditional monstrous infantry or cavalry. So it was really hard to justify like getting giant type of units, which is pretty much what the Treemen are. But they've given them, you know, extra benefits, bonuses, upgrades, and stuff like that over time. So that's nice to see. And then you get Wall Breaker for Treemen and Ancient Treemen units. So that's basically the Lord version. So that's cool, but I tried this out in just a little test run where I just did the first couple of turns. It's okay, but typically you're just going to be able to knock through the door first, and the tree units in general are fairly slow, so you can't really like run around and flank around the edge that well. So you're probably just going through the front door as Elves. Unlike something like Ogres, where they're fast enough where you can, you know, flank and like kind of run to the side on a siege, knock through the walls, and then get some interesting sort of positional advantages. Or with Slaanesh, you're just going through the front door, I think, with the Elves. So it's okay. You're immune to all attrition, which is great. Minus 30% upkeep for Forest Spirit units. That's really good. Sometimes you can be strapped for cash as Elves. Treemen get another bonus, which is it lowers the enemy offensive stats. And then you get another bonus for Tree Kin, which are like the smaller trees, the monstrous infantry. Extra weapon damage and bonuses for your team. So, really nice bonuses. Good starting army. It's going to be a fun campaign. Let's do it. And they have you start where you're fighting Norn rather than Paravan, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think Paravan is probably a bigger threat, so I would almost rather take them early. But that start position was really challenging. Like that first siege in Warhammer 2 versus Paravan, like you have to play pretty well to win that. So maybe they wanted to dial back the early difficulty just a little bit. And I like the Elves in general, like the new-ish system where they can warp around to other groves, and that's kind of your mission, is to go save all these other groves. I think is cool, because you can get to all these different locales, fight different enemies, you have lots of choices in that. And it's, you know, a cool little mini-game with little mini-objectives every time you're doing that. You're trying to clear these forests and take over an area. Turn off my sound there. Okay. So as far as Elves go, if you've never played them or it's been a little while, Sadie, don't do it. No, don't. Here. Sadie says hi. She's trying to sit on the desk over there, kind of near my computer, but I don't want all that hair getting in there. Couple of things that have changed. First of all, you don't have to have growth to upgrade your main buildings, which is interesting. And they aren't that much gold compared to other places. The 4th and 5th tier are kind of high, but they take a lot of turns. So there are some technologies you can do to help with that, but it takes some time to get some of those upgrades. They also lowered the requirements on a lot of units, which they did this with many factions, and I think it's great. Like, tier 5 should only be a couple of units, I think, and they should be really, like, very powerful units that are high priority. So you've got your dragons, and your monstrous cavalry that are, like, top tier monstrous cavalry. So that's really good, but they moved the treemen down, which is great. I think these, honestly, like, most giant units should really be tier 3, but these guys are really powerful. I mean, Durthu obviously adds the bonuses, but beyond that, they have missile resist, they have 110 armor, which is great. Traditional giants are kind of low on armor. High leadership, magical damage, armor piercing damage. They don't do as much damage as traditional giants. I think normal giants now do like 700, but the fact that they have missile resist and heavy armor is great. And they also have physical resist and missile resist. So they're a lot more durable than traditional giants, which is solid. They're still a little bit on the slow side at 35, but being lower is good. You also have these Zoads. I think these were, or Zotes, I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce them. Like Spellcaster, Monstrous Cav, Anti-Large, or Monstrous, I don't know if you'd call them Cav-like units. So these are very good. Good sort of cavalry superiority units. Sisters have been tier 4, I think, for a while, which is good. The Way Watchers, a lot of the elves seem like they do less damage than they did in Warhammer 2. Like, these only do 24. I'm pretty sure they used to do, like, 30. Maybe I'm just remembering SFO. Traditional archers only do 16. Or I guess the armor-piercing ones are only 16, which is pretty low, but they are armor-piercing. And traditionals do 20. And then these only do 20 as well. And I could have sworn these are, like, 25 to 30. So I think that a lot of the elves got nerfed. Now, this is very interesting, too, is now you can get the Shuriken at tier 2, which is massive. Those are very powerful units. And you can get Great Eagles. So anything that flies, you know, at tier 2 is going to be pretty strong. They also moved some of these elves down to tier 2. So a lot of your units, or this takes a lot more time to upgrade these, but they moved a lot of the stuff down so you have access to it earlier. So that's solid. And then I think you only need growth for these buildings. And that's another thing, is tree spirit units with Durthu. You don't really have to mess with these for a long time if you don't want to, because most of these are for elves, or this little, like, bonus building. It's like Wild Riders, Blade Singers, and then just a bunch of other elves. So with spirits, you don't have to mess with these, which is solid. And then these offer you really good money, but remember, you can only get money out of so many towns. All of your little bonus places that you can occupy if you want to aren't going to give you much money unless they have a resource, and even then it's not much. So they do allow you to get all 3 of these, I think, now if you want to, which is good. You might have to choose, I'm not sure, but I think you might be able to get all 3 of them. And then obviously these various upgrades. So early on, we're going to be trying to get, obviously, Dryads is sort of our front line, mix in some Treekin, and then Eagles. And then, obviously, a little bit later, we'll try to get to Hawk Riders, and then Treemen and Zoats. Okay, let's go ahead and get a fight in here, and then we'll talk some more about, sort of what else has changed, what's going on. It should, the rest of it is somewhat familiar to Warhammer 2. The elf rework where you have the forest and things, but we'll walk through it. Let's go ahead and start with this fight. We'll go ahead and fight it, because we're going to have to do a siege right after this, and I just want to be as healthy as possible. So you don't have a ton of replenishment. You do get some, like, you can get some buildings that offer okay replenishment, but it costs 1,000 gold now. For the buildings if you choose to occupy places. With the elves, most places you should probably burn. Which is weird because they're like a force for good, but you kind of want to just burn properties. And that makes it more difficult for enemies to reoccupy it. Because they're going to have to... Many enemies are going to have to take huge attrition in order to occupy a property. Now, you do get Vanguard with this guy. I think that's a Durthu thing as well. And he himself gets Vanguard. So that does help with some of these slower moving units. The Elves, interestingly enough, do not have Vanguard. These Elves don't. If we get Deepwood, which is probably what I'll try to get fairly early on when we get to Tier 2, I'll try to pick up the Deepwood. So they are somewhat cost efficient.
Warriors of area.
And they have that Vanguard, which is nice, because the rest of our army will probably also have Vanguard. Alright, let's go. And you do start with Flock of Doom, which is still one of the best spells in the game. I don't know, maybe they nerfed the range arm a bit. Actually, move these Dryads around and we'll try to flank with them. Really trying to focus firing me out. Push through and like engage these guys. They quit firing on us. Now she's not gonna do a ton early because his spells are just better. Damn, they are really committed to going for him. Trying for the Dryads to not take too much damage, but yeah, they are really like going. Oh my god, they're like running into melee to try to shoot at him. Okay. I mean, we can heal a little bit with it, but yeah, obviously it didn't want to take quite that much damage. But.
Ready to serve.
I think their finite amount of magic, we probably just want to just block it. I'm trying to get the Dryads out of there so the Lord can't just kill some Dryads. So he's not going to kill any Tree King. Or the Tree Men. Actually, no, stay on this. No, don't hit the Lord, because he's gonna try to hit them. Yeah, he's already doing some damage to him. No. No friendly fire. And we could just back up and try to fire on him. He's about to run though. Yeah, once Durthu gets in there, Durthu does a lot of damage. A lot of armor piercing damage too. The trees aren't amazing offensively. the treekin, that is. But they have really, really good defense. Like, heavy armor, physical resist. I don't remember if they have missile resist or not, but... And, like, high melee defense. It's like 40 plus melee defense, I think. No, so yeah, I mean, they're pound for pound one of the best units in the game. They're like 225 gold, too. They're like trolls on crack. They're really, really good. And you can buy upgrades for them, too. I think just take money. So we're kind of tight on cash early on. And he has a really good blue tree, too. So you have your obvious campaign movement range, and you have Wonders of the Forest, post-battle loot, and raising money, and if we have a raid, which is probably not going to happen too much, but the post-battle loot by itself pays for that. Because usually these early blue trees are kind of like waste of points for many factions. There are a few factions that have good blue trees, but that's kind of junk. But even like the ambush, it's not only better ambush success chance, but also extra missile damage. So that's really good. Extra recruit rank, global recruitment capacity is okay. It's, you know, there are some better ones out there for that. You have your standard lightning strike, chance to get magical items. That's really solid. Replenishment, that's 15% replenishment too. That's old school. Instead of like the 9% I think you get with a lot of factions, or maybe 12. Get the full 15, upkeep reduction, and then your, you know, nice finisher here. Upkeep reduction, campaign movement, all that good stuff. And then in this tree, obviously you have some good things. Ancient Bark is Treekin and Tree Men, extra defense. That's mostly for Hawk Riders, but it does apply to Eagles and eventually Dragon as well. And you have a nice assortment of elf stuff for early units that also scales well into later. So, we've got a lot of good options. His faction unique stuff, when you lay siege or encircle, you get an extra 8 leadership. Lamentation of Despair, which is like a free missile thing. You can cast that more often. In forest battles, get 10% physical resist, all this other stuff. We're going to be in forest a lot, especially on defense, so that can be pretty handy. Armor for Dryads is huge. They actually have a decent amount of base armor at 60, but that certainly helps. And then fire resist. They are all vulnerable to fire by 20%, so this just erases that weakness. Rage of Kurnos. A lot of different good spells. What are these upgrades? Oh, okay, it's just showing you that. So basically your defensive stuff with Beast Magic is good. Well, I guess that's defense / offense. So not Flock of Doom, but your other spells you might cast. Vigor Loss Reduction is really good. Leadership for everybody. And then I'm not sure about that, but I guess enemies just kind of take attrition in your area. And then he also has... Okay, you have to choose whether you want the extra missile damage or melee damage. We'll probably go melee. Or, I guess you can get this for extra melee defense for everybody. So yeah, lots and lots of good options there. As far as techs go, you obviously get this first. They reworked this a bit. They don't have it strictly partitioned in terms of elf versus spirit stuff anymore. Because like up here early on it's elf, which isn't like that useful. But then it's just kind of some utility stuff. Diplomacy doesn't matter as much. Casual replenishment's okay. Lore of Life's okay. Port money is okay, but we're not going to be wandering too far away from our main forest. Like, you want to just heal all the forests and hold them. Extra charge bonus on cavalry. Upkeep reduction on elves. High magic. Sort of whatever. We're going to be getting tree lords. And then +1 per turn for all magical forests. So you know, get to upgrade your main place a little bit more. We'll talk about that in a second. Victory condition. So I think the bottom half is a little bit better. Early on, you gain one additional forest health whenever you win battles, so that's good. 10% extra money from burning stuff. We'll be burning a lot of stuff probably. Ambush success chance and defense and leadership and melee attack during ambushes. We will be in forest a lot, so that's going to be a good chance to ambush. That also combines really well with the tech that you can get that gives extra ambush, especially with some of our other lords that we're going to hire that might have weaker armies than Durthu. That's going to be really handy. 10% physical resist and melee attack for elves. We might get a couple of elves. The tier 2 like spear elves are pretty good anti-large. We don't. Zoats are great anti-large also, but they're much later in the tech tree. Forest dragon stuff, great later on. It's whatever early. Extra global recruitment. 10% replenishment for everybody. Very good. And then eventually, you know, just dark magic stuff. Global recruitment duration -1 that's really good, because there will be some things that take 1 turn to hire. That we could just hire anytime, anywhere for 1 turn if we have that. And then once you get Amber, and I think you only get this for holding forest, there might be some quests. But it's pretty rare, so you have to choose. Growth plus recruitment duration is quite good. Construction cost and upkeep reduction. This is almost certainly what we want first, because the construction time on all these buildings is just going to be, like, huge. Replenishment only in foreign territory, and missile resist is kind of whatever. That's not that great. Extra ammo is okay, but we're not leaning that heavily on the elves. Reload reduction and poison is okay. Vigor loss reduction's okay. Gain 5 additional forest health for burning stuff. That's huge. So we are going to be burning a lot of stuff, and that does add up. Extra Flock of Doom and magic is okay. And then settlement buildings, 10% extra. It's only settlement. That's like not your grapes and things like that. And you don't get a lot of baseline gold from settlements. I don't even think you get any, typically. So the really good ones, in other words, this, Wisdom of the Pine, Poplar, and this one, I think, are like S tier. Like, you definitely want those. And then optional ones that can be like good situationally. I would say probably this one for the poison if you want a little bit of extra defense. Possibly this one if you do a lot of actually, no, I changed my mind. That's actually quite good, because I think that's free. Like, your treemen just get 4 casts of Flock of Doom for free. So that's actually quite good. Because it depends on if they... Thanks. That's awesome. If they individually have cooldowns, which it sounds like they would flock individually. So basically, if you just had like 5 treemen, you could just have permanent flocks up. So that's actually quite good. That's probably S tier too, if you need more combat power. Yeah, that's probably where we're going. So we're going to take the lower tree, pick up these things, and probably start with Wisdom of the Pine, and then just kind of move around and see what we need from there. Okay, let's get another fight in here. Yeah, ever-reaching tendrils. And I just try to explain stuff, because I know some of you guys, you know, with Warhammer, you play it all the time, you know all the factions, you know everything, but there are some newer people, or people that may not have played Elves, so may not have watched any of my previous campaigns. So I try to explain a decent amount in the first episode. But I'm going to see if I can go through and get some more action. Elves, there's a lot of action. Like, you're not sitting around waiting most of the time. You run around, you're burning stuff, you're dealing with people that are trying to reoccupy. And I'll show you guys the buildings and your options, because the first one will probably occupy. But a lot of properties, again, you probably want to burn, because then it makes it less likely they're going to come and take it. And you don't have walls in your places, so it's really easy also for them to... you have pretty weak garrisons. So you have to like be selective in what you want to try to defend. We might actually do that burn bonus first. I don't know. Like, the construction time is big.
Blade guard. Yes.
Oh, I meant to show you the victory conditions too. Basically, we start off controlling your main victory condition place. Sisters of the Forest don't start there. Basically only Orion and Durthu start off controlling the main victory place.
Battle ready.
Alright, so again, we're just probably gonna go for the main door. They usually take it down pretty quickly.
With haste.
But your goal is just to go around to all these different forests around the map. They give you different bonuses depending on if you're able to clear it and control it. We'll walk through those. But you pretty much want to get as many of these forests as fast as you can, and then that gives you a resource that helps you level up your main forest, and you get different bonuses when you level up your main forest too, and you win the campaign whenever you fully max out your main forest and fight a quest battle. So it's a pretty cool spin on, it's different than a lot of other stuff. I'll wait till they group up a bit more. Flock of Doom is still, like, in the conversation for, like, most cost-efficient, strongest spell in the game. It's very, very good. Does a very, it's been nerfed a lot over time, but still does a lot of respectable damage. It's point-click. It only affects enemy units. You can do it in combat. It's cheap. If you get the upgraded version, it's got a pretty good range, like 300 range on it. It's still very cost efficient. You don't pay a lot of opportunity costs for that extra range. So it's great. And the rest of Beast Magic is just solid utility. You have the ability to give your units extra armor. See, they took that down pretty quickly. We'll throw them in first so they take most of the damage. Missiles aren't insane against dwarves. A lot of them have shields, and a lot of them have heavy armor. Hey, I don't even see any. I don't even think they have any quarrelers. Yeah, I'm waiting on more of them to commit. You can get a Manticore for flying. You just got a lot of nice utility. I don't know if Beast Magic is, like, literally the best in the game. It's not as flashy as some other magics, but it's just very, very solid. Early game, Flock of Doom is maybe the best spell in the game. There it is. Now, you gotta remember also, dwarves are magic resistant. So it's not gonna hurt them as much as it might other units. Alright, we don't wanna get too close. And she's just kind of chilling. We're keeping her for now. Life Magic, the healing on, like, Durthu, for example, with regrowth is very good late game. Especially because we're going to have a lot of monsters. But early, they're just kind of chilling. Because Flock of Doom is just better. We've got limited resources. I don't know if it's going to let me fire on those guys, like, in combat. I think it will. Yeah, there we go. Basically, you get a free missile spell. Oh. Well, he's got to stay there. We're just going to have to just take the hit, I think. Yeah, it hits all of them. There's no target cap. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's uncapped. A lot of stuff, and it does a lot of damage. How much is it? It's basically like 90-ish on average for 7 seconds. I mean, I guess that's not, like, insane. But it's like 560 damage to, what, 4 different units right there? No diminishing returns, no target caps. So it's very, very good against these, like, entry-level units. Fairly low cooldown. Yeah, elves are just strong at, like, all levels of play, especially Durthu. Like, the archers are really good late game, but they have been nerfed a lot. But they are vulnerable. Like, you know, like every elf, just about in every fantasy, they're like skinny, archer, agility-based units that if you just tie them up in combat, are gonna have some problems. Historically, not a lot of armor. They are very good, like, finesse fighters. They have high melee attack, high melee defense, but low armor. So they can be vulnerable. Okay, they didn't all run up here, so they're going to make me run through the town a little bit, which is kind of annoying, but they're coming. Nice range, good accuracy, too. That's not a stat that you see on paper, but there is a difference in accuracy between, like, goblin archers and elf archers. Especially Way Watchers are extremely accurate. It's, like, almost pinpoint accurate. You see all their missiles when you shoot at a war, just, like, boom, like, right on them. So, like I said, we will get some archers. We are elves, but a lot of our power is going to be on these tree spirits. The tree kin don't put up like insane numbers, but again, they're so sturdy. They're like one of the best defensive units in the game, and they do respectable damage. But typically you're not going to see them with like 300 kills or anything. Their melee attack is kind of low for a monster. It's like 26 or something, but it's high defense, physical resist, high armor. And you can upgrade to make them even more defensive. So halberds will still light them up, but they can just sit there all day against swords. They may not kill a lot of the swords, but they can frontline for you forever. Just about. And these dryads, I can just show you while we're sitting here some of their stats. Like, these are pretty good for entry level. Like, their melee defense is a little on the low side, but they have fairly high weapon strength comparing them to, like, Empire units. They do have physical resist 20% and 60 armor. So they are a lot more durable than, like, swordsmen. High leadership. So, they're solid units. I think they cause fear, too, which is very good against a lot of Empire units. They obviously get big bonuses. They can pass through trees for free. And there's just a lot of nice little upgrades you can give them, too. So they're a very solid unit. They obviously take more damage than the tree can, but... And they have magical attacks. So people sleep on them, man, but these dryads are actually quite good. I don't think you can cast it on something that you're, like, literally fighting. You can cast while you're fighting, but it can't be, like, in the middle of the fight. He has, like, pretty good splash damage, too. If you watch his attack, he'll, like, knock over, like, 5 or 10 of them. Like, he's killed 230. Now, a lot of that's Flock of Doom, but I'm telling you, dude, this guy's gangster. He's been frontlining the whole time, and he was even focus fired. Like, 2 Quarrelers basically dropped their whole clip on him last fight, because I, frankly, mismanaged that fight. And he's still... He's kicking. It's not great firing into your own units, but elves are so accurate, you can comfortably, especially like these guys can get shot a little bit, you know, by the elves in the back and still be alright. And I forgot they also have the missile resist, so yeah, they're great. And they're siege attackers. That's lovely, dude. I love me some elves. There's just such a great, like, they might have the most balanced roster, just, like, really good roster of units. Now, some of them, the War Dancers and stuff, again, can be a little underwhelming. They can't frontline for you. But they are good sort of finesse units if you want that. But it's just, like, really good archers compared to most other factions that aren't elves. Like, high elves also have good archers. But good archers, great monstrous infantry, great large monsters. You got dragons, treekin, zoats. and like respectable frontline options with the Dryads. Okay, so he causes terror. He already causes terror. Okay, so these are your options. Basically, you can burn the Heathland. It'll give 5 to the Magical Forest, and 1 per turn. Or you can just occupy it and just get 1 per turn. I think in the past I have gone for the burn tech first. It's because that's like so much extra. And if they come and reoccupy it, you get to burn it again. You get some decent money. You get upgrades for it. It does have furs, so we can get a little money. But I'm gonna go ahead and occupy as well, just also so I get some replenishment on Durthu. Yeah, you occupy it, you don't get the 5, you do get 1 per turn. But we do get some replenishment, and in theory, we can hire some units on the move. So when we go to all of these other places, if we want to occupy any of them, now it'll tell us, and we can kind of sniff out Skaven, like that's going to be Skaven, I think, as well, because it'll show up as green. The Heathland. Oh, that's actually not in the Heathland. So everything that's around us will be either yellow. If it's neutrals, that's not doing anything to us. If we're actively at war with them, it'll be red like this, which is -1 point towards the forest every turn. But if it's yellow, you don't get any points. So the goal, obviously, is to make sure everything is green, which means it's burned or you occupy it. And this is your main goal, this main town here. You want to get up to 400 to 500 magical, points. And then you get growth in all provinces, upkeep reduction for all armies, diplomacy with Bretonia, and -4 cooldown on deep roots, which is your teleportation stance, where you can zip around other forests. So that's the main one. Then you have an option of other forests you can teleport to, and the goal again is to burn everything around it, get your Heathland up, and then when you get to 100, you do a ritual. Some people try to come and fight you, and once you finish the ritual, then it's permanently at 100, as long as no one kills it. And if you take it permanently up, then you get a bonus. So this gives you, they all give you global recruitment capacity and 4 extra Heath in Athel Lawrence. That's our main place. We'd get +4 per turn. So this one gives you +20 diplomacy with ogres and winds of magic +12. This one is held by Drycha, I think. Or no, Drycha's up here. Oh, that one's held by Gorst, Helman Gorst. That one's probably pretty hard. I don't know. Elves probably match up pretty well against the zombies, I think, because they're little. We have stuff that can actually kill their Mortis engine. We can focus fire the heck out of it with our archers, and big treekin units don't take as much damage as infantry, proportionally. So we might actually be able to do all right. This one's over here in Cathay. I've never been in that area with elves before. Battle reinforcement, so if you have multiple armies, -40%. It's not great, but it's okay. Forest Gloom, this is probably the best one. +20% campaign movement range and diplomacy with dwarfs, which is kind of awkward because I think you have to burn some dwarf stuff in order to clear that Heathland, so that's going to be interesting. This one, recruitment capacity -20%, it's okay. You have to fight Drycha for that one. I don't know if we're going to be able to confederate with her. Probably have to fight her. These are other elves, Laurel and Forest. Income from all buildings is kind of whatever. The Gay and Vale. Allegiance points +20%. I think we might get a quest battle, minor spoiler, where we have to go over there and help her. Which would 20% research, which is okay. So a lot of these are not phenomenal, but they're alright. Casual replenishment 12%, that's actually quite good. Because it is going to be hard to hire more elite units because we're jumping around so much. We'd have to global to get them. And then plus 200 experience per turn is kind of whatever. But, okay. Now, it can be a good time to global, I guess, while you're waiting on people to come fight you at these places. So when you activate the quest, it usually takes a couple of turns for people to come up and fight you. So you might be able to global in something that just takes 1 or 2 turns. But yeah, those are our options. So Forest Gloom campaign is great. That's where we'll start, probably. And then we'll figure out from there. Okay, let's keep this going. So as far as the buildings, 50 gold per turn. The main building doesn't give you any. The garrison is okay, but not stellar. It costs 1,000 gold for this, though. So if you don't have any trade partners to sell those furs to, it's probably not worth it. And we're not going to have a ton of trade partners because most people are going to hate us because we're burning stuff all the time. It's like we're good guys, but we're still setting the world on fire. It's a very unique and kind of interesting vibe. You get growth in all provinces, which can be okay. Casualty replenishment. That's just region, though, not province. So that's okay. Global recruitment -1. So that's obviously quite good. So if we get that building, recruitment -50% too. So that's actually quite strong. That's quite strong. If you need more units, because global is obviously very expensive. So this will cut the cost on that, -1 turn. And if we get the tech that's -1 turn, we could get 2 turn units in 2 turns. So that would actually be pretty good. We could almost get them in 1 turn if we do the amber as well. So that's just region, though, so you can't stack that in multiple towns and just get everything, like, almost instantly. Now, this one, income from post-battle loot and money from raising other settlements. So if you do a minor settlement, you grab this, and then you go burn, like, you know, a 5-star town or something. I don't think most of your places are close to those types of units. Stuff like Altdorf. You could get a lot of money. Although Gloom might have us burn the dwarf capital, so that could be valuable. And then the last one is just growth and construction costs for all adjacent provinces. Not that great. I mean, your construction costs are expensive. Maybe like really late game if we own everything around Athelwarren and we put this in every single one, but probably not happening most of the time. So I guess we just leave this for now. I really just wanted replenishment. Yeah, it's probably not worth it. I think we'll just leave it. Okay. Corners of the Forest. We want to get to, because we have a pretty diverse army. So the red tree is okay, but not insane. So we probably just want to get to Lightning Strike and then just get all the little bonus things with him. Over here, I would say still just Earthblood. This is another, historically, one of those powerful spells in the game. You know, maxed out, you get something like 12% max health healing on 4 allies. So it is capped, but that's a lot. That's a lot of health, and it's pretty cheap at 8. And then you can also combine that with Life Bloom, which gives an extra 1% on everybody. They changed Flesh to Stone to be physical resistance instead of armor, which is good. And then this can be quite good if we have monsters just sitting in a sea of infantry. Basically, they take 28 damage every time they auto-attack a person. So, that's pretty good. So that's like basically every 2 seconds, 28 damage. And then regrowth is the big one. So it's 30 seconds at 1.2%. So it's probably like 35 or 40%. It's around 35% max health healing and extra vigor for 1 unit for 15. So that's huge to put on a ward, obviously. And Durthu's great for that. And then this used to be pretty good. It seems really low. I don't know. Maybe we'll try it. But like 4 damage per second for 15 seconds is only 60 damage. I don't know if I'm missing something, but like Flock of Doom looks like it does way more than that. Now, obviously, this is armor penetrating damage. It says strong versus character. Not sure why. Maybe the speed reduction. But yeah, a little lackluster there. But that's fine, because the other spells are great. Okay, oh, she's got 2. Earthblood. And then what we want to do early on, I think your priority is upgrading your main tree. So the main tree, not only does it have that resource, but as you level up more and more, you can pay to get these tree upgrades. And this gives you a Confederation mission for 2 of the elves in your grove. So that's nice. You can force confederations. You also get growth in all provinces, corruption reduction, extra garrison defense, control for all of your forest faction wide, and then I thought it gave you upkeep reduction, but I guess they changed that. This gives you the other legendary lords, not Drycha, but all of the other ones, you can confederate with them eventually. Extra growth, all that stuff. And extra forest health, which is good. So yeah, it's nice to upgrade. You want to do this ASAP. Try to get those confederations rolling in. And then your main town, we want to get to tier 2, so that's a priority. Again, we're trying to get Treekin. This guy's a pretty good caster as well with replenished troops. Another all-star. I'll show you more about him when we get to him. And then we want to get some Great Eagles, and if we can afford it, probably some Deepwood Scouts. Again, these are your mid-level archers. They're good. They have a little bit of extra range at 180. They can vanguard. They can hide in a forest. They have stalk, so they aren't spotted. So enemies, if you stay max distance, are probably not going to be able to fire back on you. Deal kind of middling damage, but they're really good for their cost. And I believe they can fire while running. I don't know if they can run backwards and fire. I think they might be able to. But they can definitely run forwards and fire as well. Yeah, they can fire in any direction, even when running away. So that's kind of a unique property, I think, of Wood Elves. It's really, really good. Or at least there aren't many units in the game that can do it. So very good. Now we can get Swift Shiver Shards, which does more damage. Maybe this is what I was thinking of. That does 33 damage. So that's a really good upgrade, and it's magical attacks, but they have less range. I think that's new. I think they used to have the same range. But you have to have this extra building too to get that. So we'll see. But anyways, okay, let's keep it rolling. So yeah, priority is that, and then I'm not sure if you can get multiple of these or just one. It's like military support, you can get both of these, I think. Obviously, you can get more than one recruitment building, but sometimes you have to choose, and it's not clear about that. Like, it doesn't put chains on it. But we'll start off, so you get max money, 600 gold or 300 plus growth, plus casualty replenishment. The furs and stuff don't really matter. We don't need the growth for most important things. But that would help us with, like, growing this, like, this stuff. So, I guess we'll get the growth. And just see. Hopefully it'll let us get the other ones. Yeah, we'll go with that. Offices. This is, we'll just go over this later, but basically you can put your lords in here. I think all of them are rank 1 now. And it just gives you, you know, different bonuses for different situations. But they don't give you any bonuses, I don't believe, unless the army is active in the province. So one thing we could do early, but we are kind of strapped for cash. But if you want more growth, you can just get a lord to just sit in your main town with this growth. You'd be paying like 300 or 400 extra gold for 25 growth, but that could be worth it if you want to try to power level and get to tier 3. Tier 2 has enough nice stuff to hold us over for a while, though, I think. Okay. Alright, let's try to do some more fights here. Okay, yeah, I said we weren't going to get a building. Just 1,000 gold. I just don't think it's worth the money right now. It would be nice to hire some extra elves. Maybe we get this one. It would give extra growth. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this one. It'll give us extra growth, and that'll let us hire some more archers. Okay, and I think that's it. So yeah, you want to play nice with the other elves. And eventually we'll confederate with them. Which is obviously anytime you can confederate, it's super strong. So Elves, I think Durthu might be in the conversation for one of the strongest lords in the game. Especially scaling, like...
A threat to the forest has appeared nearby. Aggressions against the forest are not
Oh, I
uncommon,
forgot. Yeah, you gotta deal with this.
Some threats are more pressing than others. This particular attack is imminent. Send an army to disrupt these aggressors.
Yeah, I forgot. You have to do that a lot. Kind of almost like a tower defense kind of thing. So, oh, you got upgrades too. As if all this other stuff wasn't enough. It's got kind of like the goblin or like the green skin, but you don't need any resources, special resources. Like you don't need scrap or food or whatever. You just pay money, and you can give them extra little bonuses. So typically, Willow is kind of balanced, anti-infantry. Birch is usually armor piercing at the cost of defense, and then Oak is more defense. And all of your Forest Spirit, it might only be Durthu who can do this. So Treekin are a good candidate for this. It does cost a bit more, but they are durable. It's very hard for them to get wiped out, and getting this one for the extra melee defense and bonus versus infantry is pretty massive. I might go ahead and do that, because we did get some extra money. Oak is okay, but they already have pretty good defense. They're not going to be doing a ton of damage. It's okay. The speed doesn't matter. But this one, you do lose some weapon damage, but you basically gain 8 right back versus infantry, and you get more melee attack, and you get more defense. So that's pretty massive. Okay, so we got to go over there and deal with that. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade them. It doesn't add any to their 158 per turn. I don't think it adds any extra to their cost. No, same cost. You could make one of them, like, I don't know, super armor piercing if you want, but I think Willow's probably the best. Almost always, especially early on. And these are half price too. These aren't as much. Now, this plus 8 flat armor piercing damage could actually be, like, pretty good. But you lose the physical resist. And that's just 6/6. These are kind of expendable, though. I'm not sure. The Treeman is a lot. He's 500. You get missile resist there. Armor and missile resist, which is quite good. Or you get really high base damage and melee defense. But he's just not going to do, like, that much. He's okay. But these... I think I'll go ahead and Willow these two. It's not that much. It makes them a lot more effective. And this fight right here is going to be potentially spooky. I didn't practice this. I don't know what we're going to be doing here, but we need to go deal with that. You do have Underway, which is amazing. You feel so spoiled getting to do Underway stuff when you play a faction that doesn't have Underway. Most of the factions I enjoy do have Underway, like Skaven, or some kind of like good mobility. Okay, we don't have the growth for that yet. And then this, yeah, we don't need these things yet. Okay, and we're good. We could try to trade with these guys.
Protector of the realm.
Oh, we do not want to play nice with them. We want to kill them. Because we need their, need to burn their properties. If you're military ally with somebody who's adjacent, you might get the bonus, but it takes a lot to get to military ally, and you're better off just killing people, I think. Okay. So we're still getting the growth in Waterfall Palace, even though we didn't get to recruit at Carrick Norn. Because I didn't know that quest was coming up. But I believe we're still getting the growth, right? Yes. Okay. And then we might just try to kill Paramon after that. So yeah, in 2 turns, they would an army would spawn and they would come for you. But you have a great chance. I forgot you have a chance to ambush too. So we do get an ambush. So yeah, that makes the ambusher thing even better. Okay, and it's different types of units. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Because like you may just fight elves. You might, I don't know. Maybe you fight some demons. Who knows what comes up with these things. I don't know if it's always randomly generated, but each forest that you have, these kinds of events can happen. Okay, let's do it. So, let's see. It's not too crazy, but yeah, we need to try to kill these, tier 2 longbeards. Oh, what? Oh, no, it's this guy. It keeps showing me the dude next to him. Alright. I think we'll win. Quarrelers are a bit of a problem right now because we don't have anything fast. But once we get the eagles... Eagles aren't, like, insane against archers, but... Now, the fact this is ambush, though, is really nice. Okay, and we want to try to kill them and make sure they can't run for the exit. Because on these ambushes now in Warhammer 3, they added in a safe zone. Where if anyone is able to run to that zone, then they escape. They're not ambushed anymore. Oh, what did I just press?
Ready for battle.
I don't know what I pressed, but okay. Oh, I did a formation or something? We'll just put the tree cannon with those guys. Ooh, actually, over here. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Business units over here. Oh, they're running the other direction, huh? Oh, they're going for a surround, huh? Damn, these elves are putting in some work, man. I don't usually cast that one, but I want to knock them back and just like disrupt their formation a little bit. Holy. What's Durthu doing? Okay, we need to get on these guys. They're trying to like...
Ready to fire.
Focus fire my people here.
Speed of Azrael. Bowman ready.
Usually Quarrelers line up pretty well
To battle.
against elves because they've got shields and more armor, but they're kind of low on magic here. I just wanted to engage so they won't fire back at the other elves, and that they turn their back to the elves also so their shields don't work.
By Ephraim.
Like right here, see they're chasing me and they're getting shot in the back. Little known thing I think some people forget about or don't realize is that the shields, you have to be facing that direction. Well, they are kind of, I was saying, we were taking them out, but
Bows of Athelloren.
they are kind of doing some stuff here. Alright, we want them all swarmed around, like, our meat units, so like this guy. And then we want these guys to come in, like, from the back. They're not really buying it, though. They're trying to chase. That's fine. I mean, if they want to chase, I'm faster than they are. You guys want to chase me the whole time? No, stay here and fight then.
Our bows are yours! For Isha! Now! Azray, attack!
Alright, let's flank around here.
Ever ready!
I mean, they're not falling for just trying to surround a large monster, which is somewhat smart, but they're also, like, just chasing these guys and not accomplishing anything. They're just getting fired on by my archers. I don't know if it's going to let me do it. Because I'm kind of in combat. I was about to say I haven't lost a single one of these, but now I've lost like one.
Aim! Fire! Death to all!
Oh, I forgot to even throw these back in there. Yeah, that's good. Let's get in there.
Ready and able! Blaze guard! Shoot! Athel Lauren!
Okay, yeah, so, I mean, they're really in a bad spot. Either they all clump up and fight the treemen, and then I come around and surround them, or they just continue to chase. Obviously, they should have just stayed in combat and just fought the treemen. That's the least bad option, but this is really nice, too. At the end of battles, any excess magic that you have, you can just heal. They're killing a decent amount, man. That bonus versus infantry, pretty nice. Oh yeah, I forgot to get that too. Yeah, I'm not sure why it seems like they gave Elves some buffs, because in my mind they were already, in Warhammer 2, one of the stronger factions in the game. You don't see it because the AI like doesn't usually pop off as the Elves. They're pretty damn good if you had to fight against them, though. If you were playing Bretonnia or just something else close to them. Beastmen. You do have to watch out for Beastmen, at least historically. They moved around some of the beast herds, but they will try to backdoor and burn your main tree, which obviously really sucks if they do that. That makes you basically start over again. Punishment and wins of magic or money. I mean, again, like, we're not turbo strapped for money now because we have one army with big discounts, but nice.
Not likely.
Oh, that's the dude that I just fought? Is it? Yeah. Okay, so it's related to a nearby person who gets a free ambush, I think. Or, like, gets an event. So that's Norn. So they basically got a free army. And now they get to run away with. I can't chase them. Damn, they ran from here all the way over here. How does that work? I guess they were trying to retreat into the Paravon, and then they got pushed out of their zone of control. Man, I want to keep going, but that's got to be the end of this episode. This looks like it's going to be really fun. I'm enjoying it so far. And I got to go do some other stuff, so I can't do another back-to-back episode, but this is really cool. It's going to be interesting. I think we'll start the next episode and consider, but I believe we're going to hit Paravon. We don't have that much. I got 3 archers, a trebuchet, which is good against our elves, but our archers. Halberds are... We could probably flock a doom these guys down, though. The halberds are a little bit annoying. I think we don't have a non-aggro with Paravon or anything. No, we can get them. They have 2 towns, so I guess they're defending their 2nd town, which is down here. Orion might start at war with them. Yeah, we're a little dinged up, but I think we get them. Let's go ahead and we'll commit to it. Oh. Am I not at war with? Or, yeah, let me see if Orion will pay us. Oh, do I not? Oh, yeah, I see him. Okay.
Shield of Athel, speak your lies and be gone from Athel Lauren.
Yeah, elves kind of don't get along with each other sometimes. Yeah, they'll pay us for something, sure.
Of course.
Better than no money. So yeah, anytime you're gonna go to war, see if someone else will pay you for it. Okay, and this is where we'll pick it up next time. So, anyways, that's gonna be it. Thank you very much. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.